Cogger Mugger, ¿tienes alguna noticia para Scroggle?
Cogger Mugger Information Scroggle.
Cogger Mugger. Gibt's was Neues für Scroggle?
Cogger Mugger, nur nichts für Scroggle.
Cogger Mugger, no Janus for Scroggle.
Cogger Mugger, any news for Scroggle?
Cogger Mugger, heb je iets te vertellen voor Scroggle? Cogger Mugger, genoeg voor Scroggle.
Cogger Mugger, tutte le notizie per Scroggle.
Cogger Mugger, jakie sprawy pro Scroggle?
Díomh agus bfuair géad fáilte go dtí an ceathrú clár de chud Scroggle TV atá ag teacht chuomh ón our stúdióna an Sá Gúlín. Tá deire takeithe le séasúr an Táirg leis na leanaí ag dul th neasar scoil an teachtain seo agus leis na ciata cuairteoirí ag bailiú lotha, rud a scapan ciúnas timpeall na lehéanaise a ríist. Deich ná, sí mí luanasa an bhí is gnóthaí a gcorca chuoine agus buíar é sin im líana le hócádaí áitiúla, regattas agus ráisina ar siúl timpeall na dúthaí. Tá tuairiscí ó chudas na hócádaí seo a gcuin díomh nocht, chomá leis na blúiríocha rialta agus blúide nó a bhaineann le rabha ceoil na lehéanaise. Beag a thuile faoi sin níos déanaí. Is déaliad na pobl agsúla timpeall na lehéanaise chun ócádaí agsúla sóisialta a ghagrú. Carwína le héad le na gaidáin saoil, chomá le cuairteoirí a bheala chun takeú leis an ngéalagar áitiúil i rithinn ama deachar seo, agus tríd is tríd carwín sé leis an dír ina thomláine. Tuair míad cuairt inis ar cheandas na hócádaí bliain túla seo. Suite ag a bun líomh mis agus ar bmhóthar gnóthach chrálaí an daingin, is ag cró an chama i rimí luanasa a bhí ócádaí agsúil sport ná faca an lehéanis riamh hana. Ní ach ócád bheag a bhánaí an rásaíocht capall Uma de chud an phobal gníomhaigh seo. Is in ngát láistíir den Junction Bar a tógach an cuasa. Bhí Bridget O'Connor, tuairiscóir de chud Scroggle, ann chun níos mó ghailte faoin ócáid.
Bridget O'Connor here. We're here in camp today. Beautiful day, sun shining for the harness racing. And I have here with me Jimmy O'Dwyer, who is the chairman of the local committee who are organising this wonderful event. Hi Jimmy, how's it going?
Hi Bridget, how are you?
Now Jimmy, give us a bit of what's going on today.
Well, basically now today, hopefully around 2:30, we have a 7-race programme. We'll have a low grade race and then we'll have 3 qualifying heats, and from them 3 of those then there'll be 2 finals. There'll be the main final, the first 2 horses in each race will go into, and the 3rd and 4th horse in the 3 races will then go into a consolation final. So we're in for a great evening's fun.
Great, Jimmy. And Jimmy, you might tell us how you got involved in the first place in harness racing.
Well, I suppose really, Bridget, about 20 years ago, and sadly and regrettably 2 of my friends are now deceased, Martin Ferreter and John Shea from Acosta. We all had trotting horses, and we decided we'd have a race amongst ourselves on Patrick's Day one day in the Strand in Castlegregory. And the crack was good, I suppose, and a lot of people joined in with us. So then for a few years we'll go around to the different beaches on a Sunday. We might be in camp this Sunday in Castlegregory, Inch, Ventry, Ballyferreter, and we had a great time. But then the question of insurance and everything came into it, which we didn't have. So then we decided that we'd go the legit way, if you like, with our friends in Cork who are affiliated to the ITHRF. And from the past 12 years now, we have this event every year, and all the people come down from Cork. Some of them make it their holidays. At this stage it's like a family, everybody knows everybody by the first name, and even when today's race is over, there'll be people looking forward again to next year just to be here.
Mars gnácht aimsir na hÉireann, bhailligh scamil roimhe agus thosnaigh sé ag báisteach agus na hiomaitheoirí ag gala bhú. Laura Bridget le ceantas na 4 hiomaitheoirí faoin sport áirithe seo agus an stádas atá ag fé láthair.
I'm going to be talking now to a gentleman called Tommy Doyle, and Tommy is from Dublin. Hi Tommy.
How are you? It is a very dangerous sport, so I took down to camp as usual, an annual event. I support it every year.
So if we can have the
It's one of the
winners
up-and-coming
number one,
sports.
please make their way onto the
It's
track.
not too well advertised
There's no warm-up
or promoted.
today because
I said it's a sport for the ordinary person because it's an affordable sport. I'd like to see more people get into it.
So if we can have all runners for
Get
race
a bit of
number
support
one,
maybe
then
from the
race
government,
with
whatever.
black
Like
colours,
we have a few hard
which
tracks
would race
around.
2 to 3,
But these places,
and
they're the backbone of it.
will also be
And
beat
they
for
need
the
to get
later
support.
finals.
Maybe a bit of support from the
Number one,
government.
Little Hannah.
We know things are tight,
Number
but
two,
maybe they
Brenda
might squeeze a few
Flintstone.
bob for us from somewhere.
Number 3,
Yes, I've been to racing the last 40 years. I love it.
these are not enough.
I've been lucky enough over the years to have a
Number
couple of good
5, she's got
horses.
it. So
We
if
carry the
those
flag in
5 runners
Ireland
onto
and
the
Wales
track,
and
we'll get
Scotland.
underway very, very
And maybe
shortly.
in the coming years we might actually take on Europe.
They'll line up off the
I've been
grid.
to Canada.
Three on
It's
the
huge
grid.
in Canada. It's bigger
Two on
than
the second line.
the Thoroughbreds
Let
over
them race
there.
for 3 complete laps.
We've raced in Ireland in one of the main tracks in Dundalk. Unfortunately, they don't seem to want us. I think they're afraid of us because we are a young sport. We might take over from them someday, as they have done in the States and Canada and Australia. So please, God, maybe with a little bit of support, we might get this really off the ground.
Ba cheangal é an ócáid seo le pobl iarthar chorcaí go bhfuil tradiisiún láidir rásaíocht capall úma acu leis. Beag an ócáid seo áraigh go bliain túil as sa hamach agus leabhar scrogail le cuairteoir a bháin faoin taithí féin ar an sport.
I'm now joined by Amy Inright and her children. And Amy is from West Cork and she's a jockey in the harness racing. So I'll let her explain herself and what it's all about.
Hi, how are you doing? I'm Amy and I'm up for the races in camp again this year. Never miss camp races. It's a fantastic event. When we started coming here first, we used to come down on a Thursday and have basically party Friday night and Saturday night and race again on Sunday. So we'd never miss it. It's a fantastic family event. As you can see, the setting is beautiful. It's relaxing in itself just to come down here.
Amy, how did you actually start racing in the first place?
Years ago, I think back in about 1994 or 95, I just started going to the races with my parents. And I met my husband at the time there, and he basically got me into the sport.
And what are the highs of racing and what are the lows? I would like to kind of tease out, are there some dangers?
Oh, absolutely, horrific dangers. There's nothing worse than an accident. I've broken plenty of bones in the accident in the racing. And with the sulkies especially, you have, as you know, a little cart behind the horse, so it's very hard to not come in contact with other people's horses and other sulkies at times. And if you have a fall in front of you, it can be very hard to get out of the way. But nothing beats the feeling of first past the post.
Ba bhailinn armaochas a gháil le Bridget as tá cúlinn in písa san na chuir le chéile. Agus ná dearúdagaí go mí de gcónaí ag leir chlína nó chun tuairiscí a dhéanamh óna geantar féin. Chné chur a gcuoine díobh leis go bhfuil ócáid háchtach eile ag teachta níos ar an gabham, sinní mar go cuireach an chama. Ócáid ar leithí seo tuis go mí na cuire lochta agus díaltar ar thaobh an bhóthraíodd mar a dhéontaí fadó. Ar an 19 de bheán fór a bheith an marga ar siúl. Ceann de bhuair ócádaí bliain túla an daingin atá mar landmark ar leithegún in bhí seo. Níl faic ach caintear chapel le clás timpeall an daingin ar feadh éon deir seachtaine a bháin I 1900 gach bliain. Tá ráisina an daingin ar cheandas na ráisina is sinne in éireann, agus tá tradiisiún láidir bródúlacha. Tá dulchan cín olmhór díanta ag an ócáid le blianta anuas, agus sé an tacht le chéile is mó flapper mar thugtar ar sa tír é. Bailíonn slúirte míltecha chun an daingin chun a bheith páirteach ann. Ba dhéala im bliana nuair bhfuil capall áitiúil de chud Gary Boyle, Your Ma an Dingle Derby. Bhí Scroggle TV ann chun labhairt le cuidas na daoine a bhí buinteach leis na ráisina, agus chun a gháilteach chunas go bhfuil an aird sin ratha ar an ócáid.
Well, the weather may not have been great this summer, but that certainly didn't dampen spirits at this year's Dingle Racing Festival. Running from August 5th to August 7th, we spoke to committee chairperson Mike Sayers to find out what exactly was involved in preparation for such an event. Well, congratulations, Mike. The place is looking great. When did the preparation start?
Oh, well, it's going on since last year, like between all the negotiations and the phone calls and everything, but the real thing starts when you come out here about 6 weeks before, when Sean Moran decides to take his cows and his cattle and everything in. Then we move in and take over and clean up the place and make it like it is now, which, as you said, it looks fine.
Very good. And of course Dingle is the biggest flapper race in Ireland, but explain to us, what is flapper racing?
Well, flapper racing is just races that the same horses that could be as good as anyone that are from inside the rails, but it would be likes of farmers and big farmers that would have a horse at home or two, and they would have their son riding them, and instead of putting them with trainers and costing 200 or 300 or 400 euros a week, they just go in our business, which is a way less costly. Okay. And that's the way it goes. Yeah, that's what happens.
Okay. And you get great support from the local businesses and local people.
Yeah, they're great. Like Don Dairies now and Guinness help us out, but the local people, like the local pubs and the restaurants and everything, they do a great job. Like without them, we couldn't just. It costs about, I think, it was nearly 120,000 last year now euros to run this. Like between everything, you know. So.
And going through the programme here, lastly, Mike, do you have any tips for us throughout the festival?
If you'll come back to me then, when I'll talk to somebody that might know something, but we don't see those horses only once a year, so nobody knows.
Okay. Well, congratulations again and enjoy the festival.
I certainly will. Thanks very much.
Now, DJ Kennedy spoke to some of our local jockeys and trainers who've been coming here for years about their prospects for winning here at this year's Dingle races.
Joining me here is well-renowned jockey Keith Donoghue, who rode 150 winners here pony racing over the years and has gone on to better things to join the powerful Gordon Elliott yard. And Keith, you mind telling me when you started off pony racing?
I started pony racing when I was 11. Dingle was my first riding horses here. I started off riding ponies. First winner when I was 11 here in Dingle. I had 150 winners pony racing for Adrian Brown and Chips. Then I was 16, got my licence and went to Gordon Elliott's, and I've had 38 winners now this season, so things are going well.
And Keith, do you mind telling me how important is the pony racing scene, the likes of Dingle, for young up-and-coming jockeys?
You get great experience from it, riding races and all, and a lot of experience. When you go to the track, you're only 16, you have a lot of experience. You've after riding a few seasons pony racing. So
would it be fair to say that this is a good schooling ground for young up-and-coming jockeys?
It is, because it's just like riding on the track. You know, you see experience from doing it, and it really pays you when you go on the track.
And Keith, what would be your most memorable racing experience to date on the pony racing circuit?
Probably the day I had a 5-timer. I nearly went through the card. I had 5 winners in a second. That's probably one of the best days.
And where was that?
That was in Burt, Donegal.
Very good, very good. Keith, thanks very much for joining us.
No, well, thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, joining me here is Martha McDermott, all the way down from Donegal. Martin, how long have you been coming to the Dingle races?
Coming now this last, must be, 13, 14 years. Used to come down as a young fella for the crack just, but you get on that old thing, and it's a good weekend, it's good. There's a lot of people about there.
Martin, you bought 2 horses down with you the other day, and how did the racing go for you?
Well, I don't know, this year it hasn't been great for me now at all, but I haven't been doing bad over the years, but this year hasn't. There's a lot of tight stuff here this year now.
I heard a story about your grandfather originally got you involved in the horses.
He was on the horses himself. He was St Johnson just outside Letterkenny, and he was telling me a story. There was a racetrack in Kilmakennan, and he used to have to get the horse in the train to take him down because there's no way to get him down.
So you bring the horse all the way down the train?
Down the train, that was the way it was.
Martin, come here to me now, and you know a lot about the horses, and obviously you've been coming here for so long, you know lots of people. What is so special about the Dingle races? What makes it?
It's just, I don't know, there's a buzz about it every year. We have the Flapping at home, and it's good, but Dingle is the place to be. Everybody comes from all over the country, and there's just a great crack, and it's just a buzz. There's good stuff down here. It's good.
It's something to look forward to.
That's it, every year.
Martin, thanks very much for talking to us, and I wish you all the best with your 2 horses in the future, and hopefully you make a bit of money today.
Jeez, I hope so, yeah.
Thanks very much.
Thanks.
Well, Sunday is Ladies' Day here at the Dingle Racing Festival, sponsored by local jeweller Brian the Stack, and judge is local photographer Elaine Kennedy. We spoke to her about what's involved in judging such a prestigious competition. So Elaine, thanks for joining us. Tell us a bit about the Best Dressed Ladies competition here at the Dingle Races.
Yeah, well, I have my work cut out for me today because everyone's made a huge effort. It's been fantastic. It's basically been sponsored by Brian the Stack Jewellers. They're giving a beautiful watch, and also Strands of Dingle. They've also come on board with a voucher. So yeah, it's great. I'm here judging, and they'll be announced after the Dingle Derby very soon.
As you said, you will have your work cut out for you. The fashion is fantastic here. What criteria do you use to distinguish who wins this competition?
It's very hard, but I suppose one of the things that I do look for personally is either a hat or a fascinator or something on their head, just to really top off their outfit. And there has been a lot today, so it's great. I'm looking for something colourful. It's a beautiful day here in Dingle. The sun's out, so something colourful, maybe a bit fun, a bit quirky, and either a lovely hat or fascinator would be great.
Tell us why you chose Sandra.
Thanks, yeah. Do you know, I just thought her outfit was really fun and a bit different, and she just looks really comfortable. I think Dingle Races, it's all about just having fun. It's not like Galway where you can walk around in lovely paved areas. So Sandra had lovely gold sparkly flip-flops on, a gorgeous simple dress. Her hat is actually from Mad Hatters, which is a local business in Dingle. And she just really wears it well, and she was smiling, and it looked vibrant and fun. But it was a hard choice. There was a few you could pick today.
Very good. Well, I think she's a very popular choice, Elaine. Good decision.
Thanks very much.
Okay. Elaine Kennedy, our judge here at the Dingle Races. Now, of course, a big part of this festival are the local bookmakers, and we spoke to Berkey Brown to see how they were getting on during the Dingle Races. We're here with local bookie Berkey Brown. Berkey, how long have you been coming to the Dingle Races?
We've been coming to Dingle. I've been coming to Dingle at least 20 years. I'd say 15 was my first day out, and 35 or 6 now. So.
And tell us about the Dingle Derby. Was it a good result for the bookies or for the punters?
We had 5 races down. We lost in the first 5 races. and we got a result in the Dingle Derby, so we hit the front after the Dingle Derby. We cheered home the local winner. Bit of money for the 10 and 8, but he was a winner in the book.
And very quickly, you sponsor a race as well yourselves, the Nebraska Bookmakers?
That's right. Asher, it's a great meeting. It's the Cheltenham of pony racing, and it's a great atmosphere here. It's a great couple of days.
Very good. Well, enjoy the rest of the races.
Where's the place to be in Dingle tonight? Or the Shroud tonight for Gary Boyle!
Is féidir aitheantas ar le a thuairt an Mert Vachiléirí Stevie agus Timmy Kelleher. Is réalta móra an sosa dagan an Bheirt Thar. Bhuail íomhalótha I dóranna I choráin chun leabhartlótha meallar an muinte tá acu le ráisina an dagan, agus conas go bhfuil an ócáid seo chó speisialta.
Okay, I'm here with Stevie and Timmy Kelleher in Kern Farm. So, Stevie and Timmy, you have great love for pony racing first. How did that start?
We're at it for years, girls, since we were young lads.
Very good.
Timmy, pony racing you started with. The races, pony racing years ago when we were young.
Years about. Years.
The first year of the Barn races was 1950. He was a Yank, and he married a girl from Ballyfoot, she was. Anyway, Larry was there. Just him that started. Jesus Christ, we were young. There was no trailers that time, or nothing. And Timmy went with a bicycle, and the pie bar, she sat it back after him, and he went into Nary Manning's towards that time. She was all sweat. He rubbed her down and went in for 2 pints. I wouldn't make any talk of him. And he went back to be a bonding, and she won the first race. Yeah, she was a great pony. She won 7 races in Melbourne.
Very good.
And I'll tell you that time we hadn't much money, girl. They went £15 for the many two crossed the line. Dolan, Kane, Jimmy, Peter, Jedbow, they were the committee. The many two crossed the line, £15 in a brown envelope. We had money for months. Packer William. Because no one had nothing. No pens or nothing. They had it. Everyone was the same. Well, I have said that, and they said, they were joking. They said, when over 2 pints, we were at a talk.
Well, tell us about the Dingle races. You're involved in it about 60 years, too.
60 years. No. I think this year was the biggest crowd I've ever seen. with about 10 years now, Saturday and Sunday, it was one time, but we brought in, there was too many races, we brought in Friday evening. A big crowd this year, the biggest crowd I've seen in Belfast. Friday evening, Saturday and Sunday. I figure out, I go to matches, football matches, I was in Paddy Shea and the crowd there for years, and I'm a fair idea of crowd. And I think, looked out to the race, I think there was about between 600 and 700 cars there this year. And there's 2 or 3 in every car, and that's money.
Tell us about when it started, though. It wasn't always Sean Moore around the street out here. It wasn't always Sean Moore around the track out here.
Yeah.
It was Mary Casey, was it? That owned it?
Yeah. And Mary Casey she was all right, and she was very good to us. No, really, but at that time she had a few cattle, and she was paying rates that time. There was race there. She hadn't the money, only for the race company. The government would take over the farm. So what I mean? That time, around £300 we would pay her, the race company would pay her, and that paid the rates. Only for that she did nothing. That's my opinion, anyway.
And do you think the racing is getting better? Do you think the racing is...
Never as good as this year. See, there was 14 and 15 horses in every race. And there was 4 or 5 40 minutes. That much. I have a little camera at home. I hope the Christ they came out. Them throwaway cameras, they're great, really. I have them with years, and they're cheap, 10 bob, and to develop them, another 10 bob. Well, 10 bob, €10. I have them at home. Sometimes, I look at them, it brings back memories to me.
And tell me, do you enjoy Ladies' Day out of the races? Are you enjoying Ladies' Day out of the races?
Oh, that's right. And with the last couple of years now, there's a ladies' derby. This year, 7 little girls. Jesus Christ, they're great. They're young little girls, they're great. One of them is a first cousin, Nina Cabri. And this Pat Griffin here. Are you one of the Cabri family, the famous Cabri? Yes, I am. But I'm a first cousin. I'm not one of them. Dear, they're great. But in other words, 'tis in the breeding. There's one thing, girl. There's one, I tell you this is. Them little girls and fellas, them famous jockeys, their mothers were show jumpers and their fathers were jockeys. So Tommy Cabri won the National. And Nina Cabri, she won the Kerry National. And Tommy Cabri's sister, Tommy is her mother. Yeah, he Arthur Moore, he's married a great trainer.
You saw some great result, of course, yesterday with a local man winning the Dingle Derby.
Oh, Gary Boyd, he's a fair play to him. A local horse. See, and the trouble is, girl, I'll tell you that I can't understand it. He have Hamptons behind there. Now, there must be great money in chips. I have said it, though. I don't care. When he took over Hamptons, he told me himself, money let him. £600 a week, and that was big money. It's €800 now. And he was another restaurant down in Archer Lane, Main Street there. Jesus Christ. More looked at him. He was Jeep, and a horse box, and a car, and a lorry.
And Timmy, I know you've been on the committee now 60 years. How have you seen it change? What are the main changes since you've started?
The
main changes since you've started?
In other words, I don't know. But the changes in Dingle, when I was young, the changes, unbelievable. I know, plenty of money. And sometimes there's no money. I said money. Dingle was never going as good as it is now. And me anyway. Sure, even doing this, some days now you can get home regular for 2 messages, there'll be 17 to 20 coaches behind in the car park, big car park, and there's about 50 in each coach. If some of the pubs says they don't spend nothing, so they'll have to eat it. If you're going to eat sandwiches, they have to eat.
Very good. Thanks very much, Stevie, for joining us.
Right, it's all right. I hope it come out all right.
Thanks very much, and thanks, Timmy, for joining us as well. Mar a dúirt Hannah, tá blúra a gandíhanis cheol na lehinise. Tá ceantas na siúpaí ceol is lú in Éireann, agus béidir downfiú, lunathe an sosta dangan. Agus dinan siad créile rud an ngléitar Sessions from the Shop, mar fad chréiltaí fag tamalanis, agus tá gairí go malótha. Dinan the Dingle Record Shop tafad heisiún le ceoltóirí áitiúla agus ceoltóirí a bhíonn cuairt, agus créiltar mar fad chréiltaí iad híomh idirlín an tupa. Bhuail scrogga leis an man neamh-agalach seo a thosnach an rud fad, Maz O'Flaherty, agus bhí can dorthamán pibreadh áitiúil ag déanamh tafad don bad chréile.
Hello everyone, I'm Maz O'Flaherty from Dingle Record Shop, and I'm in the shop recording a podcast session today with our East Specialta Con Durham All-Ireland piper, and we've been recording podcast sessions from the shop here in the shop, which is probably one of the smallest shops probably in Ireland at the western edge of Europe, etc., etc. So, Con?
Yeah.
You've been playing pipes for
a
lifetime, to say.
Yeah, a lot of years.
Yeah.
Not far off 40, I'd say, years.
Gosh, you only look 45.
I was very young when I started, so
yeah.
I was 5 years old.
Were you?
I'm only joking.
Tommy's it maganish. So, Cain, June,
I played some Shanna Coupe de Port.
Cain and Matorn de Port or Loch Beishtikta?
One of them is called the Whinny Hills of Leitrim. And the other one is, I think it's the Road to Dingle or the Road to Bentry, I'm not sure. They're kind of, they're slides.
All right, lads. So can a hánig tú an so?
Timp tro a blian á hen.
Agus níor tatú sa pós. So in scéaldún, any story for our listeners, our audience, our lochta éisteachta? You've made an album, haven't you?
Yeah, I made an album with yourself there about 3 or 4 years ago.
Well, I wasn't really talking about myself. I was talking about you making an album. But anyway, that's all right.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, all right. We made an album. Erden Schleed's called On the Way.
Yeah, I have it in mind to do another one myself.
That's great, yeah.
Yeah, when I get the energy for it. I'm planning it at the moment.
Great. I know you're going to record locally.
I will, yeah. I hope to
keep it local. Keep it local as much as possible.
Hennessy, yeah.
Oh, Donna's a great producer and a great guitar player.
Yeah.
Oh, he's the works like, yeah.
I hope to do a bit of work with him soon.
Great. We'll have a new CD from Gan Durham, the whole day to look forward to. A winter, na Hearden, on down. That's great.
Yeah, talk on
I know. Do we have another tune?
I'm like Queen of Rodagan. Shine my Rodagan Maul Bader.
Yeah, can you? Lot of smiling going on here into this podcast.
Eamon.
Oh, beautiful.
Or no, Postin Fune. Premier Postin Fune.
The raw fan,
yeah, that's well, Shinter and so people were out on, well, Derther were out on, Contra.
There's only one condor.
Few squeaks there.
They're the squeaks are part of being in the shop, I suppose. We have a few people here today as our Lochdeishtugta here in the shop, so to speak. Falter Overstock. We're having a little chat as well with Scruggle TV. And Trish, if you want to come in and ask me a few questions, read the sessions in the shop. Falter Overstock.
If not, why not? Hello, Con, how are you?
Good.
Falter Overstock.
I better position myself there where we can fit and see me.
Right.
No chair for me, so I'll kneel down and say a prayer.
Oh, God bless.
We're near the church anyway. Now, Mads.
Hello.
How long are the sessions going on?
I started them 10 months ago.
And what inspired you to start this now?
I think it was the original, when the Pan Celtic first came here about, was it 3 years ago or 2 years ago?
2 years,
2 years ago, yeah. And I decided, because Fergus and I and my sister Lord Mercer, we took part in the first one, and we got second, but Alan Stiefel got the first prize.
Right.
So I managed to bring Alan Stiefel with my 4 words of French, and he had 2 words of English. And I managed to bring him from Killarney to Dingle. And he played in Flaherty's.
Excellent.
And then I took him out to Donanore. Now, this was a time like when there was no French and there was no English, and it was a different time. It was the time that was in it. Anyway, as my own personal contribution, I just thought that I would have sessions from the shop.
Right.
But I had them outside, Les Mahondoris. Mm-hmm. And then they went great, except the audience were on the road. It was good. I was having heart attacks. So I had to tell, across the road down Green Street, you know. So I had to tell our Lochdeishtug that, would you mind sitting over at the church on the steps? It was really funny.
Yeah.
And then it came to me. I said, right, this worked out. A lot of musicians turned up. And we had great fun. We really had. So I said, right, I think I'll bring him into the shop.
It's a brilliant idea.
And it just came from nowhere, and it's worked out, touch wood, and I am now a forest from touching wood.
Yeah.
It's worked out great because a lot of musicians
And
are
where can we access the former sessions? Because you've had many a session here now in the shop. So to get at those, how can we find them?
Podcast sessions from sessionsfromtheshop.com.
So it's all archived, and you can click in there and
and I've left all the full podcast sessions. They're all left online for people to hop into.
And you're blessed here in Dingle with so many musicians living here and coming through, so you're never short of a session.
No,
in Dingle
and people have been captured on the spot.
Yeah,
literally on the spot. I've seen someone come to the shop and I said, "Hello, are you busy?"
But isn't that the nature of a session anyway?
It's
if they're
very
planned,
natural.
they don't work, so it has to be organic.
It's I've had some great sessions like
excellent.
John Spillane. The first time I recorded, and I wouldn't be known now for being technological, and I'll put my hand up, and anyone that knows me knows that's true. But John Spillane, God bless him, it was my first time ever recording.
Yeah,
but he was a great help.
Brilliant.
And we had a great session.
Yeah, excellent. Lovely. So who have we up next? You don't know.
I have John Saunders is on at the moment, and Marie Doyle Kennedy is on after that.
Excellent.
There's about 10. Like, what I do is, Maureen, my daughter, she works in Rossnaroon, and she has helped me out in recording, so which has been great because, you know, she's in and out with microphones and doing the real biz.
The sound is very important.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Whereas with Mez, I do my best, and well, we let it happen.
Excellent.
But there's about 20 recorded.
Brilliant.
Like, I think the word you use is in the can.
In the can.
Is
well
that the right
done.
Word?
You're great. You're great for local musicians and local
music. I love
music.
Promoting local musicians. Though we have had Lumiere who are from here, and Mick Handley has been in with Archie McLean and Nolly Casey. And Mick Handley actually said he'd love to do his next album in here.
Excellent.
I said, I'd be delighted. You take the keys to the shop now,
there you
and
go.
I'll be able to go down the road and we'll have the cup on tea.
You could sell a few CDs.
Well, he's recording. He can't. But it was great. But I mean, I love the fact that we have local musicians and people from Timple na Horta. They don't have to be all from, you know, West Kerry. Like it's Usculta. It's open to anybody who wants to. You know, come in and play, and I have lots of people that would not be known as well as Lumiere or Mick Handley or, you know, other people.
Well, I suppose music being the universal language, isn't it? It brings us all together.
And I have a few emails from, I'll have to leave it nameless at the moment until my people will be talking to their people, but there might be a few kind of well-known people, hopefully.
Excellent.
Well, yeah, but as I said, it's open to people. That it's as important to me for people to come in here and play their music and share with the world their music, what they're playing.
Brilliant.
Like Con's son and daughter.
Oh, they're fabulous.
Like Pashy and Patrick Flannery. Also known as.
They
are brilliant.
We'll get them in.
And we had them on, and gosh, they were brilliant. We had a load of hits, like we're tipping on 250,000 hits.
My goodness.
And it's kind of just audio at the moment.
Yeah.
So it's great. And it's just sharing the music.
Lovely. Well, this is the start of the visual.
Yeah.
So Scruggle TV, we're delighted to collaborate with
Scruggle
Sessions
TV.
from the Shop. And we look forward to the next session. Thank you, Con, and thank you, Maz. Now, my prayers are over. I'm getting up off my knees. Thanks.
The next time we'll have a seat for you.
We will. We're saving for the seat.
Maybe.
Oh, you're grand.
Sin de chlár na mísasa agus tásúla gunn go munibhar tanmhas. Díireachtas go bhfuil séúr na trasóireachta críochnathe, ní chéalín son ná beag faicear siúl go dtí mblianta chuin. I measc na nócódaí atá fós le tacht, beag marathón an daingin an deir seachtainna se chuin, agus an éile bíg a bheith ar siúl an bhí se chuin. An éile ceol uair an Tradfest, agus maraga an chama mar a dúirt hana. Agus chun chuir an úldíobh go raibh Scruggle TV ag féile Rose Hurley, agus beag clár am lán á chréile a go níos déanaí an bhí seo. Beag tuairis gleis a gunn ar éile le spóil a bhí ar siúl a dús fí luanasa. Go dtí san, go déisibh sláán agus ihe bha.